Mr. Njai, good morning and welcome to West Africa Democracy Radio here in Dakar. First of all, you've been removed from the Electoral Commission office yesterday by armed men. Can you confirm that you are not at work today?
No, I'm not at work. I'm at home. And we've been asked not to enter the hotel. So nobody is there now working.
What were the circumstances in which you were removed from your office yesterday? Did the armed military personnel give any reason?
Well, I went to work as normal. I was there by 7:45. Work should start at 8 o'clock. And I was informed by the cleaners that they were not allowed in when they were supposed to start work around 7 o'clock so that the whole office can be cleaned before work starts. And that the military were there. I asked one of them downstairs, the military said, well, you asked to be there. I went back to my office. And a sergeant came, a military sergeant, to say I must not touch anything. I just packed my bag and left the office. So there's somebody there now who's working. It's in they are now entirely responsible for the office. There's nothing you can do about that.
They told you not to touch anything. Does that mean documents as well? Documents that...
We should not be at all. We should not be there at all. That's why I had to leave. So nobody's going to work now. No one's working there. There's nobody there.
And then this is the latest we've seen over the past few days. For example, the president, when he changed his mind, appeared on TV and trying to blame you and the Electoral Commission for not doing the right job in terms of collation and everything. Do you stand by the results that you declare before the whole world?
The results are 100% accurate. 100% accurate. Nothing can ever change that. They are 100% accurate. What happened was during the tabulation, that was where the error was, and we corrected that the next day. And we invited all the parties, and we let them know that instead of 51,000 between the winner and the one who came next, it's now 18,000, which he knew on election day, even before the results were announced by me, all the results were announced by me, he had considered defeat. Because, our system is such that each polling station will have an agent representing their parties. And immediately voting ends at 5 and counting is done by 6:30 latest. They would have known the result because they phoned their respective offices to let them know the result of that particular polling station. 1,422 of them. And this is what they tabulated. He knew from day one that he had lost. It's that simple.
And a lot of people wonder, Mr. Njai, the results were being announced on the national TV until like 4 a.m. And there was a huge halt, for hours and hours, no results was announced. And then people were so worried.
Yes,
what happened in between?
The whole world was in the hall. Public media, private media, international observers, domestic observers, diplomats, they were all there. And we were told that he was going to relay through the television that he was going to admit defeat. On 2 occasions, we had to wait. On 2 occasions, they all know. They were all there. And they had the announcement. But then, of course, this never came through until 5 o'clock the next day.
And then there was a communique, a purported communique that was circulated on the social media, and I happened to have an opportunity of seeing it, alleging that you were threatened, you were stopped from announcing the result, and you had to call the U.S. Embassy, and who also called the ambassador, calling Nigeria and Kofi Annan and things like that. Can you confirm?
That's not correct. That's not correct. That's not correct. I did not call anybody to come and assist them.
But you were not threatened at any point during the announcement of the result?
No, I was not threatened. That's for sure, I was not threatened.
But did you worry? Was there any moment between that the force and...
You can never tell.
And then you will Gambia, you will remain, you will be in the annals of Gambian history as that Electoral Commission chairman who, despite all the odds and everything and doubts in the beginning and everything, came out to do the right thing. What does this mean to you as an individual, as a father, but also as a Gambian?
Well, when you go through my track record, coupled with the fact that when you are given these responsible positions, you take an oath that you will do your duty, hold the Quran, and swear to Almighty Allah that you do your job. And once you do that, no one and nothing should deviate you from that oath that you take. Do the right thing at all times. That's my motto. I do the right thing at all times. It's as simple as that.
And you were not worried, bothered at any point that doing the right thing might put your life at risk?
Of course, you will be worried because, knowing what exists here. So I just feel I should do the right thing, no matter what. That's my philosophy.
And then, And was there any moment, for example, since the result declaration to now, when you had direct contact, communication with the president?
No, not at all.
And are you bothered? And are you bothered that he has now decided to go to Supreme Court to challenge the results?
No, you see, I'm not bothered in the sense that there will be no Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has been dormant for the past 20 months. There's no Supreme Court. Supreme Court consists of a panel of 7 judges, and there's only one judge. And my understanding is that none of the West African countries will send anybody here to be appointed as a Supreme Court judge. So there we are. There's no Supreme Court existing. That's the legal way of doing it, but it doesn't exist since May last year. The court has been dormant, so it cannot be revived now. That's the problem.
And we've seen the ECOWAS leaders led by President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf on Tuesday arriving in the Gambia to try to mediate fact-finding mission. And they met you. This team met you. What did they tell you and what did you discuss with them?
Well, except that according to the president, there were some polling stations where their agents were not allowed into the polling station. I mean, for anybody who knows our system here, that's never been the case. And even where you don't have an accredited paper from your party to be at the polling station, the other agents are there. And besides, there's nothing anyone can do to rig the elections. It's not possible. Because it starts in the presence of everybody. It comes in the presence of everybody. You cannot just tell the people at a particular polling station to say, this is all I want. Because you don't know these people. We engage them just for 3 days. And there's over 7,000 of them all over the country. These people, we don't know them. We advertise and they apply. Some are teachers, others are civil servants, others are businessmen, others are students. And we just take them at random, train them, and then they deploy them to these various polling stations. You cannot just tell everybody that this is the result I want from here. It's not possible. Practically, you cannot do it. It's not possible. The other issue was also that some people went to vote, even though they had a valid card, but their names were not in the register. They were not allowed to vote. These cases are very, very minor. Not more than 20 around the whole country. Because there was a time when they did double registration, and they were asked to surrender one of the cards. Those who never surrendered the cards, the other cards were written off. And the last one register was the one that was appearing in the register. So this is the case. But I mean, those things are flimsy excuses. No nothing happened. That will not alter the result at all. Never.
And Mr. Njai, when the president said that he is declaring the result in totality void and null, he said one of the things he wants to do is to create another commission in his word, God, who are God fearing. A lot of people are saying this is an insult to your dignity as an electoral commission chairman. How did you feel about that? The president saying,
well, there's nothing we can do about that because it is him who appoints the commission members, and there's 5 of us. I'm the chairman, and he does that in consulting with the Judicial Service Commission and the Public Service Commission. So there's nothing we can do about it. He appoints you. He can also fire you, but to fire you has to go through a certain process. But as it is now, I mean, whether I'm there or not, it makes no difference to the results. The results are there. They are tangible. When you go to each of these 1,422 polling stations, the results are attached there. Even where they are thrown off, all the parties have their records. So that will not show anything. Nothing.
And the fact that the military take over the Electoral Commission office would not, for example, create any problem. For instance, the armed personnel tampering with the documents to make a case for the president. That's not possible.
Even if the whole building is burned to ashes, that will not change anything. The results have been declared. They've been disseminated. Everybody has it all over the world. You go to our website, it's there. Whatever. That has no meaning at all. None whatsoever. No meaning.
Yeah. And Ms. Njai, a lot of people are now worried, concerned about your safety and security. For me, there's
nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do about that.
But is there anything you're doing differently now? Yeah. Is there anything? Okay, so that's what you say. You're born here in the Gambia and you'll die in the Gambia.
I'm not going anywhere. Even though my family, everybody is saying, move out, move out, move out. I'm here. It's as simple as that.
You will never flee the country.
Why should I? Of course, my family are still applying pressure. But I said no. I remain here. I remain here.
Okay, Ms. Njai, thank you very much.
You're welcome.